Welcome back to the Outlier Trading Room. Today we're going to be looking at a few stocks that are popping off over on Wall Street Bets. So let's start with UNH first, United Healthcare. Now, United Healthcare has been in a free fall lately. This is a stock I wouldn't buy even with your money. United Healthcare looks awful, something fierce. And because of that, there's no way I'd be buying it. But what I do want to do is evaluate it using the Outlier 9 Slingshot Setup right here. It's the 9 itty bitty baby steps to get you the slingshot setup. So first we need to look at the trend of the market. So we need to go back to the SPY. So let's do that real quick. And the SPY actually has a sell signal. The SPY has a sell signal as of today, June 2nd. So let's click into the SPY. And we can see here, once it loads in, there we go. We can see here, we got a sell signal. All right. And the trend is still moving up. The green overlay shows us that the 10 is over the 20, price is over the 50. So looking at the baby steps here, the trend is green. We can tell for sure that the trend is going up. Now the signal, that's going to be red. And the signal is telling us that is a sell signal right now on the SPY. Now let's go look at market breadth. Market breadth measures how many stocks are on our bull list with buy signals versus our sell list with or bear list with sell signals. Let me turn on my cursor there. And let's go over to market breadth. And we can check this for the crossovers. So far we have 3 crossed over: the staple sector, utility sector, and real estate sector. Those 3 sectors are bullish. However, the entire market, the full stocks, the 2,600 stocks that we cover, actually still continues to have bearish breadth right here. The bearish breadth right here would keep me out of the market. Look at this. Out of the 9 itty bitty baby steps for the slingshot setup, 2 of the first 3 are bearish. That's not a good sign, right? 40% of this setup is due to the market. Next, the sectors, right? So we talked a minute ago, only 3 out of 11 sectors are bullish. The rest are bearish. All right, so that's probably not going to be very good. And then the fear and greed, we'll look at each individual one, but let's go back to UNH and work on that. UNH, United Healthcare. Looking at this, we can see the sector. In fact, let me zoom in a little bit. The sector fear and greed average is right at midpoint right here, right at the midpoint. And it's increased a little bit, 49, 57, 49, and it's 50.0 at this exact moment. And it is moving up. So we'll mark this green for UNH's sector, the healthcare sector. Now, breadth in the sector is not crossed over. And that's what this is showing down here. This chart is these 2 charts plotted together. This green background right here is the green background right here. How many stocks in the sector have a bullish trend versus a bearish trend? That's what this is showing right here. And it's not crossed over bullishly. So this is going to be red as well, right? So if you're looking to buy UNH, this is not looking like a great setup so far, right? Of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 out of 5 are bearish. All right. Now let's go to the next one. The trend of UNH. It's clearly a downtrend. It is such an obvious downtrend. Don't even think about telling me that this is trending higher. No, mathematically proven, ain't no freaking way. So this is currently trending down. All right, trending down. Next is the signal. Outlier got a sell signal all the way back here, April 21st, and it's been going, man, that was up at like 425. Now it's down at 301. And those buy and sell signals historically have given us a 36% return. So not too shabby, not too shabby. But that's going to be red as well. The fear and greed of UNH. Look at this. The fear and greed is awful. Look at how deep red it is, right? Look how deep red it is right here. Reached values of 2 or 3, meaning exceptionally extreme fear. Now, the thing is that you'll notice here is that the further up it goes, the more likely it is to snap back. Like right here, super fearful, then it ran up for a while, and then it got super greedy, and then it snapped back. So this might help it snap back, but in the meantime, don't jump aboard that train until it starts to turn around. So that fear and greed is also red. Let's do a double check on UNH for any outlier blocks. UNH. No outlier blocks in the way of it right here. It might actually have a little outlier block to help support it right here. So I would actually knock that one green because there's no order blocks in the way. So if we're looking at UNH objectively, right, we just did expert level analysis on UNH in what? 67 seconds, right? 67 seconds is all it took to run these 9 itty bitty baby steps. All right. So we have 1, 2, 3. 3 divided by 9 means 3 divided by 9. The score of UNH is a 33%. which puts it almost to the strong sell territory. It's in the weak sell right now. So UNH, no way would I buy that stock. Let's go to the next one here. Let's look at Tesla. All right. Now, looking at Tesla, one thing we can keep in mind here is that this is not going to change for the market. So this will stay the same. Tesla is in the discretionary sector. So we're going to light this up again just for Tesla on its own. So let's go to Tesla. Oh no, Rick actually gave me the idea to start looking at the Wall Street Bets stocks right here. Rick said there was a guy recently on Wall Street Bets that bought $100,000 of UNH with house sale money. And his wife thinks it's in his savings account. Holy moly. His wife is going to have a very rude awakening if UNH doesn't find a bottom at some point. Oh man. Okay. So looking at Tesla, we're back on Tesla. Got this move here. In fact, let's go back. We'll start to the sector. The breadth of the discretionary sector, still very bearish. No way. The fear and greed average for the discretionary sector is getting less greedy, more fearful. So both of these are going to be red here for Tesla. And this is the discretionary sector. Then let's go to the stock itself. Remember, the market will stay the same on all of them. Look at the market as a top-down approach. That's going to help you narrow down your focus. So next, let's go to the stock. Has a bullish trend, 10 over 20, price over 50. So that should be green. Then the signal just got a sell signal today on Tesla. Now, between these buy and sell signals here, it went from around 284. Now it's around 346. And performance summary shows 1,427% following the Outlier buy and sell signals. That's not too bad. Not too bad at all, I would say. But this is now a bearish signal. Fear and greed on Tesla. It got pretty greedy and has really just flatlined around 73. It's starting to pull back slightly. It's down at 72. So that would be red as well. And any outlier blocks above Tesla? Let's go take a look. No, not really. Not until way up here. This one was closed when it closed. This outlier block ended when it closed over that point. So I would not put any outlier blocks on top of Tesla. So you've got 1, 2, 3 again. So Tesla would also be a weak sell, right? Pretty crazy, but you can very, very quickly take a look at those. We'll look at 2 more in just a moment here, but let me ask you a question. How can I help you? Ask your questions in the chat and use a hashtag Q so I can help you take a look at that. Now, my name is Christopher. You have twice been awarded top 100 people in finance. I was mentored by 5 of the market wizards, the best traders of all time. I've been successfully trading since 2009, and this is where outliers like us save time, make money, and start winning with less risk together as a team. So go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. All right, let's look at 2 more here on the Outlier 9. Let's look at 2 more. Let's go to Nvidia, NVDA. Do you like this where we start just with charts right off the bat? Is this useful to you? I feel like it is. If it is useful to you, do me a favor in the chat, type in useful. If it's not, it's okay. Just let me know. I want to help you out. You have all the time in the world to do whatever you want and listen to whomever you want. I really appreciate that you're listening to me and I can help you out. So breadth for the tech sector is moving down. The the tech sector's fear and greed is moving down, moving away from greed towards fear. Okay. And so both of these are going to be red, continuing, because the market won't change. The sector we just looked at only took a moment, right? Now let's go look at the stock. All right. Thank you guys for letting me know. I want to help you out in every way possible. What's up, Rick? Good to see you, man. Okay. So next, actually, Corey, it was your idea, dude. It was literally your idea this morning saying, hey, we need more stuff like the Sunday videos. So I really appreciate you. Everybody do me a favor. Let's pay respects to Corey in the chat. Let's all type Corey in the chat. Really appreciate you. All right. So next, let's look at the stock level detail on Nvidia. We have a bullish overlay, 10 over 20, price over 50. Now it has kind of bounced back and forth, a couple noisy signals here, sitting on a buy signal at this very moment, but it did get a sell signal just on Friday. Now between these last 2 buy and sell signals, we're looking at 1,387% following the Outlier buy and sell signals. So that's not bad. That buy signal went from 108 to 135 on Nvidia. So the trend is bullish. The signal is buy today. Yeah. The signal is a buy today. Fear and greed on Nvidia also has peaked and flatlined and is pulling back slightly. So that would be red. Lastly, any outlier blocks above Nvidia. Yes, it is sitting right inside of some outlier blocks right here. So there's no way I would trade this. All right, so looking at Nvidia, what are we going to score Nvidia? What are we going to score Nvidia? 1, 2, 3. Every single one we've looked at so far has been 3 out of 9. Weak sell. Weak sell. I'm not buying anything in this market. No way. Let's do one more. Let's do one more. And let's do APLD. I saw APLD is like popping off today. And let's go take a look at APLD. Oh, I like that idea. The first 5 to 7 stocks from the outlier screener. I like that, Theo. Thanks for that suggestion. Really appreciate that one. Okay. So looking at this, APLD sitting on a sell signal today. But let's start with the sector first. This is the tech sector. So we just did the tech sector a moment ago for Nvidia. So this won't change. So the market's going to stay the same. The sector is going to stay the same. Now, the trend, the signal, fear and greed, and outlier blocks. So the trend is moving up, 10 over 20, price over 50. The signal's a sell. Now, I know what you're about to say. Chris, APLD is up 50% today. It is. APLD is up 50% today. But here's the deal. It had a close under that 10 EMA right here. A close under a 10 EMA is a sell signal to me. So I'm glad to see the outlier aligned with me on that. However, a buy signal to the sell signal right here, performance history, this is like off the charts. This is 67,430%. Let me repeat myself. The outlier buy and sell signals show 67,430%. Good gravy. And that's without that 50% move just today. That's without that move today. So I think that those signals work pretty damn well. So the trend is bullish. The signal, however, is bearish. Fear and greed on APLD was moving down slightly. And any outlier blocks? Yes, APLD is sitting right inside 2 outlier blocks right here. Now, if you're holding APLD, this is where I would start to look to take profits. I'm telling you, we can revisit this in a couple days. APLD may really, I don't know what's going on with APLD. It doesn't matter what's going on with APLD. A move up into, I think there's 3 order blocks. Yeah, maybe more. Hang on. There's 1, 2, 3. There are 3 active order blocks right here. This is going to really struggle to get through this. Now, I could be wrong tomorrow, and that's fine. It continues to go up. But more than likely, it could do something like this. How many times has it gone up into this area and just been monkey hammered back down over and over and over again? So if you're in APLD, today would be a beautiful day. A absolutely fabulous tip, kind of beautiful day to take your profits. All right. I'm just telling you right now, you do you. But if it were me, I'd be taking my profits today because it's sitting right there in the outlier. I mean, look at this. Look at this. Of the outlier 9, this one has 2 of 9. So 2 divided by 9, 22%. Now, I know that somebody's going to come on here and they're going to be like, Chris, you're so stupid. Look, it's up 50% today. It's going to go to the moon. Don't you understand how this works? I do understand how this works. I'm hoping that you do as well. I have made a lot of money in the market and I don't give it back. I don't give it back. So you do you, but this looks like a danger zone to me. So, do we like this? Do we like that, right? I want to go to today's member highlight real quick. over in our Discord. So today's member highlight, I saw a couple that I wanted to talk about over in the VIP Investors Toolkit. No, not in VIP Investors, the Share Your Big Wins. I don't know why I went to VIP Investors Toolkit. Share Your Big Wins. There was, where was it at? Here, Carol Catherine, who writes lots of our songs. She was telling us how yesterday's trade alone covers a year subscription to Outlier. So congratulations to you, Carol. There was this one here. Deep Thought replying to Scott. Scott had this really nice post, and I want to read this one to you real quick. No wins this week, but I do want to share a loss that will be helpful to others. Tuesday was a banger. I had been watching CEG for a while. Wednesday hit the Outlier scanner, and it was the only sector that was bullish. The White House announced a big push for nuclear energy. Market heat map and market breadth were both down. Okay, we just talked about what those were. It hit 7 of the Outlier 9, so I rationalized the risk and took the buy, thinking 7 out of 9 was pretty good, right? Now listen, it could be pretty good. You need to create your own trading plan. And I think that that is great that he seems like he was working on his own trading plan. But what he learned was that 7 out of 9 was pretty good, right? Wrong. Yesterday, just one day later, I got stopped out at his half ATR point. For me, the problem here is I knew better. Dude, Scott, thank you so much for sharing this, right? I knew better. That little teeny tiny remaining piece of FOMO that I thought had completely gotten rid of poked its ugly head up, and surprise, fortunately, I had a good position size and risk management and a solid exit plan. Damage was very minimal, but that's not the point. The big lesson learned here for me, don't try to force setups. Hey, wait a minute. In fact, I think I have a slide specifically about that almost to the word. Hold on here. You never force trades. You're a pro. When you evolve to the point of always being patient and only taking quality trades, that means you've decided you're not in it for the action, but to make money. You have sit out power. You never force trades. You're a pro. So, Scott, dude, you're not alone. Okay. Even the best traders in the world have to overcome the FOMO, right? Because they need to make sure they don't force setups. Wait for solid confirmation and let them come to me, meaning all 9 of the Outlier 9. No need to risk otherwise. My new saying is, if it's not all 9, sit in cash and don't F up. Very good, Scott. I really appreciate you taking the time to do that. Listen, it takes a big man to admit when he was wrong. A lot of people can't do that. A lot of people struggle and fail because they can't be a big enough man to say, I'm wrong, I got out of the trade. For you, Scott, you're a rock star. Everybody pay respects to Scott in the chat. Scott! With like 17 exclamation points. Outstanding work, Scott. Really appreciate you, my friend. Now, of course, tell me in the chat how you are using Outlier. I would love to know that. And I want to start answering some of your questions. Hold tight. Let me find my slide here. Tell me some of your success stories in the chat. And listen, if I've been helpful to you at all, the way that you can pay me back is by letting everybody know about Outlier. And the first of Outlier, you should tell everyone you know. And of course, hit the like button. So let's go answer some of your questions. Theo's question from earlier. Chris, when you missed all the exit points of a trade and the option call expires in 4 days. Okay, meaning like it hasn't hit an exit point? Sure, and it expires in 4 days. Do you still look to exit or gamble? Oh, God. First off, investing and gambling should never, ever be in the same conversation. No. By holding until the last day? No, for sure not. Here's what you do. Here's what I do. I have a slide for this. 1 week before expiration. Where's my slide? 1 week before expiration. So if it expires this Friday, I was making this decision last Friday. 1 week before expiration. Are you already profitable? If no, go ahead and close it now. Don't try and eke out anything over the next week. Can you roll up and out for a credit? If no, you need to close it now. Mainly rolling out. If you can roll it out and up for a credit, even better. So that's closing one order and opening the same number of contracts, same liquidity standard, but one or more durations later. If you aren't able to do this, then the answer is close the trade. Close the trade. Do not quote gamble. No way. Kevin says save time, make money, start winning with less risk. Outlier, go. Ozzy Ian says, hey Chris, when can I catch the Outlier University? April sent out the links for that earlier today. Ozzy Ian, double check up in your chat. Did somebody give me a segue to Outlier University?
Are you ready? Let's go!
Respect is earned. Respect is never given.
Every Tuesday and Thursday in the afternoons, we are doing a live university session where I'm teaching you every single thing that I know about how to trade. Now, this week, we're going to be working on trade management and trading psychology. This is going to be a huge, huge, huge benefit for you. If you haven't listened to anything so far, you need to come and listen to trading psychology. I'm telling you, it's going to change your world. Patrick, on your winning trades last week, they all set up in the slingshot. That's why they were winning trades, my friend. Did you pick the first stocks that showed up in Outlier among the many that set up, or did you pick by some other metric? Fantastic question. So the receipts are all on YouTube, by the way. So if you want to go back and check those, you're more than welcome to. But the way that I do that is, where's my slide? Here. I start with the highest backtest and work my way down. Meaning, when you run the screener, okay, when you run the screener inside of Outlier, it'll populate all of the signals that are valid that hit your screener criteria. So here's my screener criteria: Outlier bullish, apply. So take a screenshot of this and keep this forever, right? Outlier signal turn positive. I showed you those earlier. Greater than 1 million average daily volume with a buy signal. I don't care on market cap. I'm a snob, so I want $20 or higher on the stock price. Fear and greed map up to 90. Moving up on the heat map, meaning it's getting more greedy. And the uptrend indicator, meaning the 10 over 20 prices over the 50, all active. That is my screening criteria right there. Then it's going to pop out lots of different choices for you, right? So all of these are from June 2nd. That's today. So how do you go through all these? Well, first off, you need to narrow it down by what sector is bullish. So let's go back over here real quick. What sectors are staples, utilities, and real estate? Super easy to just go staples, utilities, real estate. And you apply filter. So now you just filtered it down to only the sectors that are bullish. And look at that. You're down to 3. You're down to 3 at that point. And then you take those 3 and you start with the highest back test, 76%, and work your way down. Nice, right? Great. Not too hard, Patrick. You're good, my friend. Bush League Investor says, I bought into the annual pass and looking forward to evaluating trades and learning. The bag holder bingo convinced you. Outstanding work, man. Glad I could help with that. All right, let's see what other questions came through. So remember, I want you to do #Q and type your question. So I'm going to answer another couple questions and then we'll keep going on here. Question from Julian. Would you also look at SMH sector as potential Intel or Nvidia or other potential semi stocks? Okay, good question. So you are actually thinking of industry. So if we look at the tech sector, right, the tech sector, then you can come down here and narrow it down to IT services, semiconductors, right? That's what you're thinking of right there. So while the sector is still the tech sector, the industry is going to be more specific on those. So you can do that. Absolutely. Joe, speaking of, Joe and I had a nice conversation today. Could you comment on stocks repeating tests of all-time highs like SFM, Sprouts Farmers Market? Is this concerning to you or an opportunity? Let's go look at Sprouts. Let's go look at Sprouts real quick. SFM. SFM. I see that, Senior Wahoo. I appreciate that layup. I'm going to go for it in just a moment. I'm going to go for it. Hang on. So Sprouts has a buy signal really close to its all-time highs. Now, all-time highs are actually ultra bearish, right? At some point in the past, this was the all-time high. And then it ran up even higher, okay? And then it's come down. And now it's got another buy signal. It can be nerve-wracking. It can be nerve-wracking to hold a stock as it's moving up. But here's the deal. Right, look at it all the way up. All the way up, let's assume that these are the all-time highs. All the way up, it's pushing to new all-time highs all the time. Everybody who's ever owned Sprouts Furniture Market is making money, which gets people excited because they want to be making money too. So more people are going to be buying Sprouts Furniture Market because they want to feel happy. And then they're going to tell their friends, and their friends are going to buy Sprouts Furniture Market. And it's almost like the market cycle is real. It's almost like, hold tight, I'm looking for a slide. It's almost like this is a real thing, right? More people buy, more people get excited, more people buy. Now, at some point, they'll start to sell out because all the buyers will have come through and they start to sell, okay? So your moving averages start crossing back over. But you can see the trends right here. So if it's approaching new all-time highs, Joe, I'm interested. I think that is a beautiful place to start entering trades where a lot of people actually would be very scared. Chris would be very excited. In fact, I remember one time, back before I knew anything, before I was making any money, I used to get really nervous when I'd see an all-time high. I'd be like, oh no, it's over. I can't buy it here. I can't buy it here. But of course, what happened? It went on without me. So do me a favor. Tell me what stocks you want to look at in the chat. Just put like $. Do me a favor. Do put $. It really helps me to know if you're looking at one. So I'll put it in the chat to give an example. $Coke. Oh, I did it wrong actually. $Coke and then tell me long. Okay, that would be one I would be interested in. Do me a favor. Put $, and then your stock, and then long or short, whichever way you want to look at it. Big Sky had a question. Is there more risk in trading options versus stocks, given that you're limiting your risk by controlling your position size? Is there more risk in trading? I would say there's exceptionally less risk in options because in fact, let's do our portfolio sizing spreadsheet. It'll make more sense in just a moment here. Because you can actually have a tremendously giant position, yet it's only a fraction of your account size. So for example, using these inputs over here, if I were to buy Palantir, I could buy 389 shares. 389 times the current price gives you roughly 51% of your portfolio in the trade, okay? But let's say you bought a $10 option, and you're only buying 4 of those options, and you're going to have nearly the same amount of returns, yet it's only 4% of your position size. I would venture to say that trading options is significantly less risky than stock if you know what you're doing. So thank you. Please continue to put those stocks in the chat real quick, because I want to tell you you're probably asking, what is Outlier and how does it work? Well, old Uncle Warren used to say, be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. Outlier shows you if investors are acting irrationally fearful or greedy, and by how much, allowing you to get in the stock before the Outlier move happens. And if you're ready to save time, make money, and start winning with less risk, you can do it in just 3 easy steps. First, head on over to outlier.com. That is just 82 cents a day to get the annual pass. Wait, is that less than a cup of Joe per day? I appreciate that, Senior Wahoo. That's right. It's only 82 cents a day for the Outlier annual pass. Or if you're on the monthly plan, you can upgrade with one single click and save 64% off the regular monthly price. Step 2, start using the 9 itty bitty baby steps for the Outlier 9 to set you up for the slingshot setup. And then step 3, sit back and relax because you just found the easiest way to save time, make money, and start winning with less risk. Now, my style of trading using Outlier is called the golden ticket trading strategy. And we got to let the market tell us what it's doing. First, we're going to start. In fact, we've already done this. We've already let the market tell us what it's doing, right? Because we know the trend of the market is bullish, has a sell signal, has bearish breadth. Doesn't matter what sector, pretty much all of them have negative breadth and have falling fear and greed. So I won't be trading today. There's no way I'd be trading today. I'm going to do what? I'm going to sit in cash and not F up. Now, if you are new here, that probably doesn't make a lot of sense. Well, how can you call yourself a trader if you aren't trading? Well, I got this from one of my mentors, probably one of the greatest traders of all time. Mark Minervini says, my 6 key rules for trading. Number 1, sit in cash for proper setups. How long? As long as it takes. Hashtag sit in cash and don't F up. So in the meantime, let me help you out by looking at some of your stocks. I'm not telling you to sit in cash and don't F up, but I'm telling you sit in cash and don't F up. But we can still look at a few of your stocks. Like Shane, I know US Steel has some crazy stuff going on. Let's go take a look at it real quick. Thanks to China. They're so stupid. China's so stupid. If only they were as smart as me and as handsome and had as credible as hair as me, they wouldn't have as many tariffs placed upon them. But looking at US Steel, let's evaluate it using the Outlier 9. Okay, the market won't change. Fear and greed and breadth of US Steel. All right, it's getting, wait, we got to look at the sector. So the sector is moving down. The materials sector is getting slightly less greedy. The materials sector has bearish breadth, so that's not good. However, US Steel is in its own world right here, has a buy signal on top of this big candle here, and it's getting way more greedy, 10 over 20, price over 50. So this is bullish. This is bullish. Fear and greed is bullish. Any outlier blocks on top of US Steel? Let's go look. No, it destroyed that outlier block right there. So yeah, US Steel actually looks really, really sharp to me on its own. However, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of 9 is what? 5 divided by 9, 55%. So if I'm going to score this one, I'm going to put it into the slightly bullish neutral side of the Outlier 9. In fact, no, I'll throw it in weak buy. I'll throw it to weak buy. Outlier 9 would show this as a weak buy. So there you go. That's probably the first weak buy and maybe only weak buy. We'll see. We'll have to see about that. Okay, let's look at, oh, you know what? This one might come through too. This one was in my Sunday video and I think it got a neutral rating from me too. Nerd 1979. Let's take a look. Shakedown 1979. All right, in the chat, who sings that? Cool kids never had the time. Go for it. I know somebody knows it. All right, we got a buy signal on AMD. Crazy. The sector getting less greedy, more fearful. The sector has bearish breadth. That's right, the Smashing Pumpkins. Good job, guys. I didn't know if anybody would know that. Oh, Amy even knew it. All right, there you go, Architect Ray Ray. That's you and me. Architect Ray Ray and I, we like to sing that song together sometimes when we're paddling down the river with the cooler beside us. We're cool like that. All right. So the sector on AMD, not looking so hot. Not looking so hot on AMD. However, we've got a buy signal, a bullish trend. The stock AMD is getting more greedy. So that's green, 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 green. Any outlier blocks above AMD? Up 3% today. Yeah, it looks all right. That's crazy to say. AMD falls in the weak buy category. I have been saying for months and months and months, stay the hell away from AMD. And what do you know? Well, you know, the Outlier 9 gives you a weak buy, a very weak buy. Like, I'm not buying anything in this. Michaela says, what's the Sunday video? It's a video that comes out on Sundays. I'm just joking. But it did come out yesterday, so go check that out on the channel. Amy has a question. Why not short instead of sit in cash and don't F up? Great question. I have lost so much money, Amy. Like it's an ungodly amount of money trying to short an uptrend. Will there be a time to short? Abso-freaking-lutely. But not while the trend is going up. I'm telling you, let me think of one time that I lost so much money. One time I took my son to the library. We were, we were going through the kids section. And I remember that the people who I originally learned to trade from, which basically taught me how to lose money. God, they taught me how to lose. They taught me how to lose so much money. The only thing I could do was do the opposite of what they taught me, and I made money. It's so weird. I was sitting in the library with my son. He's going through all the little kid books, you know, they're like 8 pages long, and they're just all pictures. And I look at my phone, and I see the Qs are up that day. Q. And I'm like, well, being the genius that I am, I should short the Qs because they're up. Duh. Right? Now, I didn't have the Outlier 9 at the time. So it was in a very obvious uptrend. And so I'm selling naked calls against this, which first off, do not ever do this. Selling naked calls against it. And I'm telling you, from that moment forward, for the next 3 weeks of agony, 5 weeks, whatever it was of agony, I was losing money day after day after day after day after day after day. And at one point, I'm like, how the frick could I have been so wrong on this? I was counter trend trading, right? So even if everything is set up red except the trend, I'm still not going to short it. No way. No way. Wild Snippy Norwood says, it's like being at the craps table and betting against the table. Sounds good. I don't know craps, but I'll believe it. Okay, DG, another great question. What about selling puts to earn income whilst waiting for the best setups? I have another great story, right? I used to sell iron condors like they were going out of business, right? It was like I had a iron condors are going out of business sale. Now, an iron condor, for those of you who don't know, is selling a put spread and selling a call spread together. Iron condor. Selling a call spread, selling a put spread together. And it sounds like a great trade to make because the price can go up, the price can go down, or the price can go nowhere, and you make money in the meantime. Sounds brilliant, right? But the problem here is, let me see if there's a better one for the risk to return here. The problem here is, there we go, is that you will get this much profit, okay, that itty bitty baby amount of profit, and that much risk. So I legitimately had an 84% win rate. 84% win rate, and I could not keep money in my account. That was because each one loser I had was as big as 8, 10, 12 times each of my winners. Even with an 84% win rate, you will never be profitable like that. So I don't sell any puts. I don't sell any calls. I don't do any of that. Now, if you're coming from the world of selling options as the most brilliant thing of all time, it's going to be really hard to hear, and you probably think that I'm such an idiot because I thought that way too. But I remember specifically having this conversation with Steve Burns, one of my mentors, and Mark Minervini. And Mark Minervini said, you need to just shut up. Just shut up and start listening, okay? Don't tell me what you're doing. Don't tell the mentor what you're doing because the mentor doesn't care. Because you're not coming to the mentor to teach the mentor, right? You're coming to the mentor because the mentor has made money and he's trying to show you how it's done. And I'm trying to show you right now, dude. If you're selling options, you are just waiting. They what is this? It's picking up nickels in front of a steamroller. Picking up nickels in front of a steamroller. That is what selling options is like. All right, let me see. Let's do one more question here. How can I help you? Of course, one more question here in the chat. Let's see. Oh, Theo, Chris, could I follow the Outlier signal on SPY for trading ETFs? How do you rate the sell signal, or how do you rate the signal performance? Actually, really good. Now, Outlier 9 takes all of this together to get the slingshot setup. However, you can just do the buy and sell signal like AMD. I have no idea what this is going to be, by the way. Only the buy and sell signals will show up in here. Performance summary, 226% versus buy and hold at 125% over the last 5 years of data right here. This is only the buy and sell signals. The average holding period is 8 days. That's pretty sweet, right? So can you do the buy and sell signals on their own? Absolutely. Listen, if you're ready to save time, make money, and start winning with less risk, you gotta click one of these 2 videos. And I'll see you on the next episode. Let's talk soon.